Are you growing your revenue at a rapid pace, but at the end of the day, you are just exhausted? You come home, you're burnt out, and every single day it feels like the same thing. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a challenging strategy or complex issue that most startups have. At the very beginning, there's a good chance that you started the company as the founder, and in a lot of cases, you were the only employee. So let's say, for example, you started a painting contracting business. And for the first 2 years, it was just you, your truck, your supplies. And during this time, you were working really hard to build your brand, right? So you're driving around, you're getting some good business, and you get to a point where you start getting referrals from your existing clients, something that every business owner wants to make sure that you're doing because those referrals are typically the best referrals you can have. But then you get to a point very quickly where you just cannot take on any more business. Every single day, your schedule's jam packed and you're starting to find yourself turning down business. So then you look to expand, you look to hire other individuals that can come on board and pick up the slack and take on that additional demand. But you get desperate. You got two options. Either A, you find anybody that has any type of capability to do this job, or B, you take more time and find the right person to do the job. So this is the dilemma that most business owners have. So you come to that point where you have to make that decision. And what I see a lot of business owners do is they will take anybody and everybody to take on that responsibility. And depending upon the type of business, so again, we'll look at this as a painting contractor business, you may feel as a business owner, I can teach this individual how to do this very simple task. But here's the challenge. Once you bring somebody on board, you're expecting them to have the same level of commitment and quality of service that you've provided for the amount of time that you've been in business. The reality is if you go too quickly to hire somebody, you may end up hiring the wrong individual, and that individual may actually ruin your reputation or your brand if they're not doing the type of quality service that they've come accustomed to the customers within your business. Then that referral traffic starts to die down because maybe you're not providing bad service, but you're not providing that level of quality service that your customers have come accustomed to. So what ends up happening is instead of referring, they take the work, it's just fine, and they go about continuing to do their business, and maybe they use you in the future, maybe they don't. But this is a dilemma that I see a lot of business owners have because you want to take on that additional business now. And so as a result, you forego taking the time to find the right person. So the proper way to handle this situation is to take your time. Make sure that you set the right expectations with your clients in terms of the type of time delay that you may be on. So maybe your typical turnaround is to address new business or projects within 30 days. You got two options here. Option one is you can stretch out that time frame and let's say stretch it to 60 days, or in my opinion, an even better strategy is to increase your prices. There's two ways to increase the amount of money that you're getting from your clients. Number one is to cross-sell additional products and services. The other is to just stay in your lane and increase the prices for the services that you provide. In this situation, you have a supply and demand issue. Your demand is outweighing your supply. And so the way to curb that demand is again to increase your prices or push out the time that it will take to complete your projects. In my opinion, your best option is to increase your prices because that is something that you can continue to remain and that can be sustainable over a period of time. Now, this is going to help because it may close that revenue gap that it would take to find the right person. So we're going to use that example and continue on further. By finding the right person, taking the time, now you have the ability to bring someone on board that is someone that is going to provide the same quality of service, but also maybe somebody that could take on a leadership role in the future. So by doing this, you're allowing yourself to accomplish two things. One, you're actually going to increase revenue because you're going to raise your prices. And number two, you're going to bring a more quality individual that is also going to help you scale your company. And so this is something that I find a lot of business owners struggle with because you're in a situation where You're at the beginning stages of your company, you're growing at a rapid pace, and you're trying to figure out, how do I balance hiring the right people with being able to continue to keep up with demand? So here's the next step. You've got that quality person on board. Your demand continues to soar. So now you're in a situation where you are having trouble scaling because you can only do so much. Your new employee can only do so much. So now you want to start looking at creating that leadership level that will be able to take the recruiting and managing these projects off of your plate. So one of the things you want to make sure that you do is, as you bring this second employee on, is start to groom them to take over those leadership roles. And as you continue to grow, demand continues to increase, you can increase your prices even more. And that'll slow demand down as well. At that point, you can give your second employee the ability to go out and start recruiting more people. Same thing here. Take your time. It's not something you want to rush into. If you put this together properly, you will have that extra time to find the right people. So you go out, you start recruiting more people, bringing them on board. So slowly but surely, you are, as a business owner, moving out of the day-to-day, and you are working on the business as opposed to in the business. That allows you to be more strategic in how you're going to continue to build your company, because now you can go out and start exploring other revenue streams. Maybe you want to go from residential to commercial. Maybe you want to look at other opportunities outside of painting to be able to cross-sell into your existing client base. So by having the right team in place, it allows you more flexibility to scale your company, but it takes time and patience. And so a lot of times I see business owners that don't have that time, don't have that patience, and ultimately get to that point where they become burnt out and they're exhausted. And even though the company is growing at a rapid pace, they just can't keep up. So my advice to you is, take the time up front to look at how you want to scale your company. Don't look at where you want to be a year from now, 2 years from now. Look at where you want to be 5, 10, 15 years from now, and have the right structure in place to bring on the right people, the right pricing strategy to curb demand, and looking at different ways that you can increase multiple revenue streams within that business model. So to recap, once again, as you continue to grow your company, take the time, find the right people, look at ways to increase your prices. As you bring on those individuals at the very beginning, teach them the leadership roles, have them start to take some of that work off your plate, and have them continue to grow your company as it relates to the people aspect of running your business. By doing this, it allows you to have more time to strategize, to grow the company, and ultimately get to that point where you want to be long term.